Well, exactly. So I mean, so in the wake of was 2-5? See, I've forgotten already. 2-5-6 or was it 2-5-7? Just one more.
I've been just gone
2-5-7. In the wake of that and the new landscape of all the divisions, I think, like let alone the UFC, let alone the featherweight and all the rest of it. There's so much going on. And we did touch on this last time we spoke about like, okay, that might have happened. Things might be different, but there's so much happening in the game right now that it doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter, you know. So
not at all, man. I mean, like, especially for fight fans, if you're a fan of, I don't know, Conor McGregor or Khabib, then you're upset now, innit? There's a lot of people that are upset right now. But if you're a fight fan, then there's too much going on to even care really at this point in time. Well,
I don't even want to say are Khabib fans because I'm a Khabib fan. We are Khabib fans, I'd like to think. But
oh yeah, of course.
Are people saying he should fight? Like, what's the general kind of thing? Are they on him for not fighting, or are they want him back, or are they saying yes, chill, do your thing? Like, what's going on there?
If I'm completely honest, I don't really know what the word on the street is in terms of sort of the people that are only coming for Khabib. Do you see what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a people that will probably only really tune in if it's a Khabib fight or a Conor fight or whatever. And I don't really know what the sort of consensus is for that kind of crowd. I think for fight fans, for MMA fans, for UFC fans, full stop. I think everyone's kind of like, let man be, innit? You know what I mean? I think it's literally Dana White, the one individual that's sort of really pushing for this.
Yeah.
Everyone else is kind of like, you know what? Let man be. He's given a lot to the sport. Let him do what he wants to do. It's, if there's ever a reason to a good reason to retire, besides obviously injury or concussions or age or that sort of thing, if there's ever a reason to leave the game early, this is it. You know what I mean? His father and coach passing away. His mother has explicitly said, I'm not on it. Like, do you know what I mean? If there was ever a reason to leave the game early.
And this is the thing, like, even how you said it there, it's like the kind of consensus and the kind of general kind of what's the reaction to what's going on. It's like, oh, he's leaving early. Like, is he I'm guessing he's physically in his prime. He's in his early 30s, I believe. So
yeah,
I mean,
32-ish.
So you could crack on to your 40 if from some other fighters, you can keep on fighting, especially he's kind of like not taking a lot of damage, not taking a lot of like crazy knees to the face or crazy I don't know what's going on in sparring and training, but I mean I don't see it. Actually, he's had a lot of injuries though, but his injuries have been more leg and non-head injuries, right? Because what was the most recent injury?
He had a few issues with weight cutting back in the past as well. I mean, I'm not sort of an expert to speak on it like that. I think that can be dangerous in certain situations. That can be dangerous and whatever. But I mean, even that we're going back a while now. Do you know what I mean? We're going back a few years where he hasn't really sort of had any issues. We're talking about a guy that's never even been dropped once in his entire fighting career.
So is it early or is it on time? Because is it early because we're fans, or is it early because like historically we've seen people that have taken minimal damage and the same age go on for a lot longer? But what else can he do? Who else can he beat? Where else can he go? For me personally, the only thing that could even make him wake up out of bed, it's not even Conor anymore, man. It's not Conor. He handled him, didn't he? Realistically, he really handled him, innit?
And Khabib's coach, Javier Mendez, aka, he said it the best. He said Khabib has gotten better, Conor has regressed. It's going to be a different fight, and not in the way that Conor's been saying up until this point. It's going to be a different fight in a different way. That Khabib's going to get him out of there earlier. It's going to be I think it'll probably be similar to the Justin Gaethje fight that we just seen, where, I mean, Khabib could have, he looked like he was sparring. He looked like he could have done that in his sleep.
Javier said this recently.
Javier Mendez said this recently that Conor has regressed after the dust.
Well. You know what Javier Mendez said about the fight and what the potential rematch would be was the most, for me, realist perspective on the Khabib Conor 2. And what he said was, as you know, for people that are watching, is Conor was Khabib's hardest test to date.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even that decisive bulldozering that he got, he was the most tested then. So I probably should have seen. I'm annoyed that I didn't go and look. But if Javier Mendez is now honestly saying, I've watched this and I think this, for me, I don't need to even really put no more thought into it, because that's a nail on the head again for me. Because we said that about speaking after the Dustin fight. He doesn't seem to have got better. It doesn't seem to have got better.
Nah.
Everyone else has. It maybe the game's moved on without him, but I'm not gonna obviously write him off and say like, oh yeah. Well, put it this way: he's not in the same bracket as Cerrone or Ferguson for me at the minute. It could go there. It could go there soon.
Okay. Here's a question though.
Mm.
Is Ferguson in the same bracket as Cerrone for a start? Before, do you know what I mean? Before we're even gonna,
it's like the wooden spoon awards for like the person that needs to sit down the quickest. For me, it's Cerrone, for it, not for his damage or taking licks or whatever. For the sake of, I don't know if you even want it no more, mate. I don't think you even want to be here no more. I think Fergie would always want it to the point of being a health concern. Same as Penn was. Keep on fighting. I don't see Fergie saying, unless he's forced to sit down. I don't see Fergie sitting down at all, man. But it's like, for me, Cerrone needs to go. That's wrong to say. Cerrone don't need to go. Cerrone needs to think about, does he care enough about it? Because from his last performances, he doesn't seem to care enough about it. So what's the point? You're not going to go for the big paydays. You can't. There's other gatekeepers now as well. There's a whole nother roster of those people that you need to pass to get to the top 5. And I don't think it includes Donald no more.
No, man, I'd agree with that. But this is like going back to the Khabib thing, even what you just said there about the sort of the whole other roster. I think that's the point for fans wanting to see Khabib fight. Like, don't get me wrong, we're not taking away anything from what he's achieved and the fact that he's essentially run through the entire lightweight division, beating everyone without losing a round. But there's always someone more. There's always someone else. Do you see what I'm saying? Without wanting to get too excited based off of one performance, I would be interested to see the Michael Chandler fight. I wouldn't pick Chandler. I'm not saying, this is the one that's going to beat Khabib, but it's a fight I would be interested in. And the same with Charles Oliveira, man.
Yeah.
I would be interested to see it. As a fan of Khabib, I would be interested to see these fights. And I think that the only kind of people wanting to see Khabib fight again is just coming from a place of, I'm interested to see how you would do against these people, and knowing full well that the answer is probably going to be very fucking well.
But who does best? Who does best against Khabib now? Like, well, maybe not even not today, but say Khabib at his pinnacle, which for me, because for me the pinnacle might have been Conor, because he was like, my option, my A game is to just take you down, fuck you up. But I'm going to choose to use my plan B and just fight you. I'm going to just fight you. I'm in this, I'm invested in this, I want to just fight you. So if you're in the mix of like a super important fight and you could have options, have gears, have looks, for me, you've taken it to a whole nother level. So say Khabib in that version, if that is his best version, say, who does the best against that right now? If they were to, whoever it is on the roster, forget about rankings, who gives Khabib the most grief right now?
I mean, that's a difficult question, bro. That's a difficult question. Like, do you know how mad it is? Do you know how mad it is that and how good Khabib is? It's almost like any answer you give to that question sounds stupid. You feel a bit silly to even, do you know what I mean? Like you sound a bit off your rocker. I'm gonna say sit here and say, I reckon Charles Oliveira could give Khabib a tough. Really? Do you know what I mean? And again, the same with Michael Chandler. We're looking at someone we've seen him. He's been finished in the past.
Yeah.
And And don't get me wrong, he looked fucking amazing against Hooker, but he was in the cage for what, a minute, two at most.
Yeah, man. That was light work.
It's not
man.
enough.
Yeah,
not enough to go and make these claims that,
it wasn't.
that oh, you're gonna be the.
But historically, style-wise, and skill set wise, and no, just discipline. Their chosen disciplines. I would like to see the wrestler with a punch fight the sambo wrestler with the I'm gonna twist you up into a pretzel type. I would love to see that engagement. That would be like two snakes rolling around, and I think that would be. I think Chandler's got the seems. I don't know, but he looks to seem to have the strength based off of the one hit power that he knocked out Dan Hooker with, and
this is someone that's, you know, people talk about how hard Dustin hits. This is someone that went 5 rounds.
Exactly.
And you out with one punch. That's,
you know, there's. I think like why should anybody tell Khabib to get up and fight again? It's beyond me. I understand why Dana might have wanted it prior to Conor losing, but now the only thing. And I've seen rumblings of this as well. I'm not sure you probably have as well. Is I've seen a lot of breaking news. GSP, Khabib is in the works. It's in the works. I'm like, it's in the works. Like what? Really? Because
okay. But what does that mean? What does in the works mean? Like in the works, is Dana sitting there plotting on his ones, or Dana got someone in the room for a conversation? Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think we can say and get excited about in the works all we want, but until the you know, the UFC, Dana White himself, Khabib himself, GSP himself, even Ali Abdelaziz, Firas Zahabi, any one of them even whispers it, then I'm losing my shit. I'm getting excited. But
okay, that's what I was gonna ask you. Do you care about that? Do you care about that to the point of like, I don't give a fuck what else is going on in the division because this now trumps everything? Because is this a super fight? Is that a super fight?
Well, GSP has said on numerous occasions that he ain't coming down to 155. No. So it's not for the title. It's not at 155. It's not got any implications for any division. I mean, that's the only way it could happen anyway, because I mean, you know, we already know how Dana feels about the last time GSP came back, won a title and dipped. He ain't letting that happen again.
Never again.
This is the only way it could happen, would be a super fight. Yeah.
And what's the point of those super fights? Because I'm like, that's like it's a fan fight, yeah, cool. But for me to go to for that fight, super fights, whatever you want to call them, they're exhibitions, really. They're really exhibitions. There's a level of it to me that's like, you need to have some kind of, there's something that needs to be on the line, and it needs to be something that you're actively pursuing within the league that you're in, to say, not only am I'm the best, I'm going for the number one ranking in it. And obviously GSP stepped out of that whole thing anyway. Like you said, the weight's going to be at some catch weight that they're going to decide on what it is, if they even do it. So I'm like, for one, do I want to see it? Do I want to see a past his best GSP potentially get crucifixed and ground down? Do I want to see that? Not really. But as well as that, do I think that a fresh, fitter, probably maybe stronger, definitely more active Chandler would be like a way better thing to watch, man? I feel like that would be, if I said, what, someone asked me, what do I want more? Chandler versus Khabib or GSP versus Khabib? Me all day is Chandler, because that's what's going on right now. Stop holding on to, it's like we keep on throwing out Hulk Hogan after Hulk Hogan's NWO now, and Hulk Hogan's this new roster. Allow Hulk Hogan to just chill, man, because he's past his best, isn't it? And why would you even need to contemplate, who would win in a fight, GSP or Khabib? They're two different generations, man. That's such a gap.
I'm so glad that you've gone all in on Chandler versus Khabib. I'm so glad that you've done that, so I don't have to be completely honest. So if anyone feels to take issue with that, they can take issue with you. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad you went there, innit? I'm glad that you went there, man, because
out of everyone,
like to see it.
Out of everybody. Yeah, I'm not trying to see. I'm not trying to see a rangy striker. I know what's going to happen there. I know. I'm not trying to see a. Well, yeah, it's gonna be. You could do it a gritty kickboxer, or you'll just call it a striker or a striker. I'm not trying to see a striker try and handle Khabib. It doesn't happen. That puzzle doesn't equal a win for anyone but Khabib. We've seen that. We know that, and as well as that, I don't want it to get to a point where it's just for the sake of a fight. Like either relinquish the belt. Actually, that's probably a question. Maybe we need to come back to. Has he given up the belt yet, or he's still officially the champion?
Officially on the books, I think he is still the champion. But what would it take for him to? What else what are we waiting on? What else are we waiting on for them to do that? Do you know what I mean?
A way to solve it. A way to solve it. Has he had to go at a better wrestler than? I'm not going to say a better wrestler than Chandler. I don't want to say that, but I'm going to say it. Has he had to go at a better wrestler than Chandler? Somebody with more credentials, somebody with enough versatility, strength, explosive power, and as well as that, not only just that, the question mark, because even when you're untested, there's still, we don't know for sure. So it's still a good thing. He's been tested in Bellator, he's been tested here, he's been tested there. For me, after that Dan Hooker win, I feel like he's still untested. And I don't think that's a bad thing, because that makes me want to see what it looks like against Khabib. Or it's got, Khabib, full stop. But then you say, but like, how's he going to just fight Khabib? And like, where does Dustin go into this and all the rest of it? So I'm just talking about straight as, who do I want to see fight Khabib if he fights again? For me, the only question mark that's still yet to be answered is our mate, Michael, Iron Michael. I think that's a terrible name. Personally, I don't think he should run with that. I think he should have a.
Man, it's not great.
He should do something about that.
Iron Mike and Iron Michael is, I mean, it might as well be Iron Steven. It doesn't. I don't relate with the Mike like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? It might as well. It's
Iron Steven.
It might as well be, innit? Like, I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm with you on that. With you on that. I'll tell you what we are divided on, though. We are divided on was his post-fight Octagon interview.
Oh, yeah.
I still don't mind it. I do.
I haven't gone back yet. I found it.
A couple of times. I had to make sure, innit? I had to make sure because I was like, am I what? Was it just the excitement in the knockout that made me think it was all right? But no, I thought it was okay, man. I did not mind that at all.
I can now say that I was definitely hurt. I was hurt at the time, and I was looking at it through a lens of sheer hatred. I'm like, you motherfucker, what? And I was mad at Dan. I was mad at you're gonna hate me about this as well, because I know what you're gonna say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I feel like I feel like that was a lapse by Hooker. I feel like, what are you thinking? To not, because have you seen the first interview they did with Submission Radio? Have you watched that one?
Not in full. I've seen clips. You mean the first interview after?
Yeah,
the loss.
After the loss.
I've seen clips. I haven't seen the full interview, but I have seen clips.
He touches
and
on
I have opinion.
It touches on. We should probably it's going in that direction. So I think we should just pursue that. So he said, for me, and this is without me even hearing what he said, or obviously this just came out the other day, but as soon as I saw that knockout, I was like, you should have known better. But the facts are, Chandler executed the feint the feint level change, made him think he was going to shoot, and went over the top. So it's like, it's quite clearly, you know what you was going to do it, and you applied it. But I'm just like, there's something in that. I was like, how, man? Is he that quick? Was he that not afraid? Was he that aware of a takedown or a level change that he just thought, nah, I ain't gonna do that? Or is it Chandler's just that good at going low and coming over the top? And for me, I feel like that was a mistake, a costly mistake by Hooker, rather than an undeniable stamp on the division that Chandler is kind of saying it is.
This thing, right? This is the thing. I do see your point. Okay, I do see your point, but should that not, and this is a question, I'm not, not making a statement here, but this is a question, should that not be the very first thing? I mean, we've seen Michael Chandler fight before. It's not like this is his debut in mixed martial arts. We know who he is. He was a former Bellator champion. We've seen him fight many times. That not be the first thing in Hooker's mind that he thinks he's going to do. Okay, this guy's going to fake the level change and come over the top. I need to be ready for that. Is that?
Yeah.
And to say, oh, I'm a mistake. I mean, I'm not being funny, but we can say that about any loss.
Everything. Yeah, of course. Everything. What Conor didn't do with his feet, what he didn't do with his stance, what he should have done, and blah, 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 blah. Cool. Loads of unlimited spirals of possible outcomes. But it's exactly what you just said there for me. That's what you've been drilling. That's what you've been doing. And that's the first thing that's going to happen. We know that's going to happen. So that means he's already conditioned for it. He's already ready for it. He's already ready to react to it. That for me is, it's always a dice roll. It's always a puncher's chance. It's always a dice roll. It could be a 6, could be a 1, whatever. So there's always that element of like random to it, because it could be like, oh, he did pick up his feet in times, his foot slipped on a wet spot, or a million other proliferations of what could happen. Not saying it did at all, but it's exactly like you said. He would have drilled for it. He would have trained for it. He would have been ready for it. So my thing is, he was going to throw it anyway, and he's probably that weren't the first one he was going to throw it, and that weren't going to be the last one, because Chandler wanted to take him down. Chandler wanted more time in the octagon for sure. I think that's quite obvious, and I bet he was like, "Oh shit, I just dropped you in my first attempt at that." So that to me kind of like it weighs a bit towards like more of a mistake by Hooker than beautiful execution by Chandler. And that's obviously personal bias. That's like saying that's like glass half full, half empty type shit. Oh yeah, like that's either the best in the world by Chandler, or that's quite a fundamental mistake by Dan. And to say, not to ball up in the same thing, like, oh, 257 was a loss of all the people that should have won and blah blah blah. You're not going to check a calf kick, mate. Fundamentals. That's fundamentals, man. That's fundamental shit. And you either overlooked that, or you've gone somewhere else. And again, for me, that shoot low, overhand, fundamentals. I'm like, you could do better, Dan. You should have done better. But that power is undeniable. That knockout strength is undeniable. And I bet if it would have went anywhere else, probably wouldn't have won anyway. But who knows? But for me, that result of that fight is a loss on Hooker's. Yeah, cool. But that weighed more for me personally on his mistakes rather than Michael's brilliance in his striking. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, no, okay, I can understand that. I mean, yeah, I guess either way, we're left with this kind of
matters not.
Need to see a little more. Either way, we need to see a little bit more from Chandler. And that's not to take anything away from him, because he literally did everything perfectly. He did what he needed to do. He did what he wanted to do perfectly. But as fans, I think we just want to see a bit more in it. Do you know what I mean? And like he seems up for it. I don't know if you heard, but Oliveira turned down a fight with him, which was going to be on very short notice. I don't want to say 258, but it might have even been, and that's in like 2 weeks, so less than 2 weeks.
And he come out clean.
I mean, Oliveira said that he couldn't make the weight for the Dan Hooker 257 fight, so he definitely wouldn't have been able to make the weight for the 258, which would have been even more short notice. So I can understand that. But I mean, are they saying that that's the fight that they want to make? If they want to make Oliveira Chandler, or is that sort of these two are the only two that might possibly say yes on such a short notice? We'll offer it to them. If they think no, we'll something else.
I'm concerned everyone's going to hit old Michael with the dusting line of like, who are you to be talking to me? Yeah. And like we said, that's endless, and that's like almost, I don't like it, I don't respect it, but I understand it. For only probably specifically to Dustin Poirier, because of the division, how deep the division is, what he's done recently. I think anybody else can say it, but I don't think they're in a position to say it. But I can kind of understand why Dustin's allowed to say it at this point. Why should I wake up out of my bed and be like, oh, get him come in, knock me off where I am? And I don't even think Dustin is even saying that because he thinks he's going to lose. I think that Dustin knows he will smoke him. But I don't see anyone else that on the division that's allowed to say that. I think Chandler's got carte blanche to challenge anybody on the division now. Anybody, he's allowed to, because of that question mark. Because we ain't seen what it looks like yet. If he got absolutely the shit battered out of him, he'd be like fucking blackballed, wouldn't he? Where would he go after that? He wouldn't be able to do anything. He wouldn't be able to set up anything interesting fight-wise. You'd have to start from the bottom and all the rest of it. That would be a weird position you'll be in. But right now, I don't see anyone else allowed to dodge him other than Dustin Poirier. And I think it's okay for Dustin to have said what he said. But if any other bastard tries to talk that shit, I think that's ducking. And I think that's bollocks.
No, I'd agree, man. I'd agree. Even to give Chandler his credit, I liked his response to what Dustin said about him sort of not having earned it, or I don't want to sort of put words in his mouth or whatever, because I can't remember the exact quote, but essentially Dustin said, like, you need a little bit more in the UFC before we're going to do, especially for a title. But Chandler's response to that was sound. That was, you know what I mean? You can't really say nothing about that.
Nah, not at all. And I think it was something along the lines of, you can't talk to me with this, I haven't earned it, because I've been smoking not only former UFC guys, but I've been smoking my whole division for a hot minute now. So, and as well as that, I think that what done it for me was under the unanimous, unified rules of, I think it was the unified MMA rules, like the ones that, regardless of Bellator or wherever you're from, we're fighting under the same rules. So what are you talking about? I haven't earned it. Cool. I think one person's allowed to say that, like I said, but apart from that, everyone else has got to put up or shut up, man.
So, all right, then, let's get down to it. Solve the problem of the Khabib is gone. Khabib ain't coming back.
Yeah, I don't.
We'll take as until we hear otherwise from his own mouth. We're gonna have to take that as a given. So, solve the UFC lightweight problem, because Dustin don't want to fight anyone for a title. He don't want to fight Justin Gaethje again for a title. He don't want to fight Michael Chandler for a title. Doesn't sound like he wants to fight Charles Oliveira for a title. What do we do? How are we going to solve the UFC lightweight problem?
Dustin is in a unique and strange position, because he's done all the work, he's got all the wins, he's got all the activity, he's got all the record, but there's something about the kind of pulling power that money has and fame has that's kind of put him in a weird kind of, he's still the best and paid in full and everything. I'll fuck with it. But I feel like his pulling power, he could still be a no, that's nearly disrespectful. I was about to say. I feel like if there was a Dustin Oliveira fight in the UK, it wouldn't be pay-per-view. And if that was for the interim or the vacated interim or
did you say it wouldn't?
I don't think that would be a pay-per-view.
Oh, hell no. No. Absolutely not for the UK. No.
You know, and I think that there's something weird about the position he's in, that he has everything, he's done everything right, done everything he should have done, but there's something about the pull of the bigger names, the Khabibs, shelved, Conor, shelved. Where do you go? And the only thing right now, unfortunately, or fortunately, you have whatever team you're on, is Chandler, man, for the sake of the what if, the question mark, the what's the worst that can happen? It's not really fair if you want to say it, but the UFC ain't fucking fair. The whole ranking fucking thing ain't fair. Like, there's nothing fair about it. But where else do you go? I don't see nothing else. I don't see nothing else.
I'll be interested to see if Dustin walks away from that. He sounded like, especially in the post-fight press conference, he sounded very adamant that he was not going to fight Michael Chandler for a title.
No.
I'll be interested if he walks away from that. If that's his only option given, does he take it? Does he walk away from it?
And what the fuck? That would chop the head off the most awe-inspiring, fan-pulling, best of both worlds division that will chop their head off. Khabib, Conor, Dustin, gone. Ferg ain't even competitive no more. Rah, that's open. That's dead open, and probably not even in a good way right now. It wouldn't be in the most entertaining, the embeddeds, all the build up and all the rest of it. It'll be like kind of like, yeah, it's just division football. It's just, we're nowhere near the semi-finals. There's nothing on the line. It's just early doors, early season football. It's still competitive, but yeah, we don't give a shit. And that'll be horrible. That'll be fucked up, man. That'll be fucked up. But
especially considering the fall from grace of the division, when you had the idea of a motivated McGregor coming back and having a rematch with Khabib, Dustin being the guy that he is even before he beat Conor, Tony Ferguson, Khabib, that kind of whole back and forth when they had the fight that fell through 5 times. This was the division. This was the UFC's, you know what I mean? But
that was this could almost that division could be the UFC. You know what I'm saying? Like to probably repeat a lot of people outside of it. That's who the UFC is. It's just these bunch of people, this way, and this is it. There's no one else in it. So fuck. It's crazy. It's mad how 1-2 losses can spin the whole thing on its head. But I'm hearing Dustin say it, Nate say it. Nate Diaz wants to fight, blah, 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 blah. What the fuck's Nate Diaz got to do with anything? Got to do what? Nate Diaz? Why? What for? What? Why? What? Yo, that don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. And like, Nate Diaz just seems to be the like, if you lose and you want to make some money, come over to the 209. I'm like, yo, you don't want to be that guy, Nate. You don't want to be. That's not competitive, man. That's not competitive.
I mean, I don't think he does. I don't think he does. I think he enjoys tweeting about it. I think that's about it. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, he even tweeted the other day that he said I can't remember the exact words he used, but he essentially confirmed that his next up fight is going to be at 170. So he's almost removed himself from this whole conversation.
Cool.
And I'm not particularly upset about that. I mean, I love Nate Diaz. Huge Nate Diaz fan for reasons other than his ranking in the UFC lightweight competition. Do you know what I'm saying?
So until the thing is, we'll wake up tomorrow and there'll be some breaking. Then everything will be fine again. So as it stands right now, until either they announce something or something happens or somebody bumps into somebody in a lift somewhere and starts scrapping on the road or whatever happens, some next crazy shit, right now, it's a bit on ice right now. And that's okay. And you know why that is okay? Because a division up, 2 weights up, there's smoke. There's so much smoke still.
There's a lot going on. I mean, we've got literally less than 14 days until we see Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman, and that's a fucking fight, bro.
That's my favorite fight. That's my favorite fight.
Do you know what? Okay, I'll half agree with that, and with the caveat that my heart rate and my nerves are gonna be twice that for the Stipe Ngannou rematch. I mean, that's where I'm gonna be on the edge of my seat because I can't call it. I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, we've seen what happened the first time. Stipe beat the shit out of him. Stipe beat the shit out of him. But there is no guarantee that that's gonna happen again. So
no, not at all.
You know what I mean? I can't wait for that, man. I really, really cannot wait for that.
I understand why you are, and don't get me wrong, I'm excited for it too because I am excited for it too. But again, I feel like just the sheer kind of not gonna say, can I say skills? Maybe. All right. Just Burns Usman for me is gonna be like Ryu and Ken fighting.
Yeah. I can see that. Thousands of hours sparring together.
Bro.
I was sparring together, man.
It's
a lot.
it is insane, and for me, that is because. All right, so say we were sparring, say if we were training and we were sparring.
Mm-hmm.
What we would do in our sparring, knowing each other and knowing what's on the table, what's off the table, and as well as that, there isn't anything I don't know about you because we've been sparring for time. You know what that equals for me? High risk maneuvers. High risk maneuvers. High risk maneuvers. That's when you put.
Does though.
Oh man, it better fucking do. I think it's going to.
I'm playing. Listen. I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm playing devil's advocate, and I have to. Does it, or does it equal a stalemate?
I don't think so because I don't think so because the stalemate only is like I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna only do this because I don't know what's gonna happen elsewhere. If I feel like if you know somebody and you know how they fight, now they train, know what their kind of temperament is, what their face looks like when they're disheartened, and all the rest of those kind of nuances, I think that now elevates it to a whole nother level of a chess match because. Gilbert Burns, I was also thinking where Gilbert Burns was talking to his trainer. I can't remember his name. IHP Jim. I can't remember what it is. So he's strength and conditioning trainer, and he was talking. He was talking to him about. I need you to practice looking tired when you're not, because Burns is like. Been drummed into it to him that you no matter what I'm showing strength. Yeah. And I was watching something, I'll send you the link to it. It's fucking, I'm like, this is gonna make it so saucy because it's gonna be, they know each other, but they gotta lie to each other in their like body language because they know each other so well. There's gonna be so many like, oh, I think this, so I'm gonna do that. Oh, I've seen him do this, so I'm going to do that. And I think that's going to push the whole thing to a next level. I don't think it's going to be a shutdown nullifier like it was against Masvidal, for example, because I feel like that's the best thing that Usman should have done then because he didn't know what his licks felt like. He didn't know if a 1-2 flurry from Masvidal would drop him. But I feel like because they know each other so well and they felt it so well, and as well as that, they have obviously kept that 10% back each. Even when they've done the deepest sparring in the gym, they've said to each other, we know we're going to be up the top soon. And I'm not going to show my full hand until it's that day. And I feel like this is going to be the most dirtiest scrap. And obviously we've seen Colby versus Usman. For me, that was like one of the best fights.
That was incredible. And so, you know what? I mean, what was interesting about that when they finally got in the cage together, and there was almost a moment of no matter how much, and these two had personal problems. These two hated each other, but there was still that moment of
respect. Okay, yeah, they love it. They love it.
I found someone. I finally, especially because Usman's been destroying people up until, I mean, what he did to Woodley was insane, bro. No one did that to Woodley prior to Usman doing that. I mean, admittedly, a couple of people have since, but no one did Woodley prior to. And this was someone who people were talking about in the conversation of greatest welterweight of all time.
Yeah, they were.
Destroyed man. And when he fought Colby, there was this moment of I finally found someone that's on that level.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I do know exactly what you mean when you're
and again that kind of playful, unmalicious, unemotive, don't drain your central nervous system for being like, oh fucking hell, if I get hit and he knocks me out, oh, it's gonna be mad. This is gonna just be a pure display of who is better. And I think that like when I saw Usman fight Leon Edwards, I don't think Leon Edwards, I don't know. It's like if I arm wrestle you, I might be able to see how strong you are, whatever. Edwards is like a sick striker. And I don't think he did half bad. I feel like Usman just mad stronger. He was just mad stronger than him. I don't feel like Gilbert Burns is weaker than Kamaru Usman. I think that Burns is stronger than Usman and more saucy.
That's a bold.
I think he is. Well, I don't know. I think he is. I think he's stronger than him. I think he's got. I think he's from. I feel like, again, it's like opinion, not based on much. but just watching their fights and seeing it and seeing how they talk and seeing how they're moving, seeing what the training camp entails, visualization, going to your empty, and even that psychological thing of like pretending that you're more tired than you are, or the flip side is never show that you're tired. I feel like obviously they've been in the same stable, same gyms, doing the same kind of stuff, but I feel like Burns is ready to fuck up the division now. I feel like he's ready to go hammer and tongs. I don't know what his record is now. Burns is like, what is it, like 18?
I would not know off the top of my head. I don't want to get wild, embarrass myself, but I can look it up quickly.
It's less than, I don't think it's in his 20s. It's still kind of like a young fledgling number. It's like a good old, it's a good young teen number. It's a late teen number, I think.
Okay, that is, you're not wrong. But interestingly enough, so's Kamaru Usman, because Kamaru is 17-1.
Yeah.
19-3 for Burns. 19-3.
Oh, I like them kind of numbers, bro, because this is pivotal times. Because they're both now saying, not only have we got to go into ourselves and remove ourselves within our camp, and each camp member is going to have their favorite, and I fuck with Usman, I fuck with Gilbert. That's going to already make some kind of like, oh, I didn't know you was on his team. I thought you was on my team. That's like already Cobra and Killishaw talk. We're already getting there. And then by the time they get into it, it's going to get physically deep. And I think they're both strong fuckers. And that Usman style with Burns, I feel like Burns is a better kickboxer, a better thinker.
I certainly would have to give him the edge in the striking and the kickboxing.
Oh, it's dirty.
And jiu-jitsu as well. But like, there's, not everyone.
How many?
Everyone in the UFC is a black belt.
Everybody.
Not everyone is a black belt like Gilbert Burns is a black belt. He is a different level of black belt. Do you see what I mean? Like, he is incredible at jiu-jitsu. He is really, really, really. I
remember, I think it's 3 or at least 4 armbar submission wins. I mean, and it's not like, and the way he like pulled them out of nowhere, like found that arm and dug it out. And what if you watch what Gilbert does? Oh, it's so sick, right? At the winding down of a round, last 30, you see where your opponent's coming. Are you going to go intense? Or are you not going to go intense? Kind of winds down. Last, hear the klaxon. And then when the guy's kind of like, okay, well, round's over, armbar, whoop, put Princess like, and I swear that's planned and that's whole part of his thing. It comes to the end of the rounds. Every time I'm like, I hear him submitting somebody, it's like in the last 15, last 20, last 10. He just waits for him to calm down. And for me to be so present of mind to have that in your arsenal, not just be like, I'm gonna fight him, I'm gonna go and fight him. Fuck off. That's
cerebral, bro. Yeah.
That's the shit. That's that for me is gonna be not only I think I like Kamaru Usman, don't get me wrong, but I feel like something that's not as spicy as it needs to be for a champ, innit? Like I want to see Gilbert have it and reign terror. I think I just prefer that. I guess it's just fighting styles. Him being a wrestler, I prefer it to be a kickboxer.
We are not alone in sort of thinking that Kamaru Usman's not the most exciting fighter. Do you know what I mean?
It's sad though. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame, especially for someone so good at it. Do you know what I mean? There's no denying that. There is no denying how good he is. But it's just a shame in that, everyone else that sort of gets to them levels. I mean, you talk about the Khabibs, the GSPs, the John Joneses. Every one of them, you are excited to see them fight. Not just excited about the fact that they exist. You're excited to actually watch it. Whereas, I mean, I don't know about you, but I haven't watched the Kamaru Usman George Masvidal fight back. I don't really feel a need to. I don't really want.
Yeah, I don't think I have. Yeah, I think I was a bit upset about that. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I was alright with it.
Oh yeah. You're okay.
I was alright with it, man.
I get it.
Especially after we see him training with Jake Paul. After that, I feel like
Yeah, you called it from early. You did call it. You called it. You was like, he's a questionable cat, man. I hear that. I hear that. And I'm seeing that more and more now. Let alone that. I don't want to say that was the straw that broke the camel's back with that Jake Paul thing, but
it doesn't help though, does it?
You knew it was gonna happen, and I didn't. I was like, nah, he still respects the game, but remember where he's at though, because he's like I don't want to say Ian Beale, but of MMA, but he's a working fighter, isn't he? He's like a working actor. He's not got this. He only recently come into be superstardom anyway, so it's like you still got that working fighters mentality where you're like, if I do this Jake Paul thing, I want to get bare more followers, bare more exposure, bare more this, bare more that, and that for me, it seems to have trumped his martial arts over everything. And I'm like, I don't like them people. I don't like them type of people, man. That kind of pisses me off, because then that just dilutes the sport. That fucks up everything for a lot of people. But again, remember, for who he's fighting, he fucking hates Ben Askren. I fucking hate his guts as well. I can't wait. I kind of want to see Jake Paul spark him out. And that's me saying that, yeah, I know. I'm not even looking at it as like UFC versus YouTube. I'm looking at it as you're a shit striker, and you're lucky to have got.
I'm turning this off right. I'm turning this off right.
done. But he got bare far in his division, and he got bare belts and that. But he's not a mixed martial artist. He's a wrestler. And a good wrestler.
I see what you mean. I do see what you mean. But he's competed and done well in the sport of mixed martial arts. Yeah. I mean, we was even having not this conversation specifically, but a similar conversation the other day about actually fucking stepping in there and doing it. You can't say nothing to Ben Askren about that. We're talking about someone that's been in there with absolute killers, and we're not talking about wrestlers, we're not talking about grapplers, and every single one of his fights has been just a grappling match. He has got in there with killers,
and survived. Has he just kind of like? Has he just survived, or has he shot? I'm just asking a question. That's all.
Survived enough to retain his title. Survived enough to retain his title, innit? You know what I mean? I'm not, again. It's the same with Usman, though. It's the same with Usman. I'm not going to sit here and try and defend his fighting style from an entertainment standpoint. I'm not trying to do that. But you have to respect what he does and how good he is at it.
Yeah, sure, for sure.
Do you know what I mean? And that's not something that I can. And I'm not even a Jake Paul hater. I don't like the guy, and I don't necessarily think what they're doing for boxing is great. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm certainly not like a supporter of it.
No.
But there's people that hate it way more than me.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure.
So I'm not, I'm not even trying to sort of come at him on that one. But if you're asking me to choose between Ben Askren and Jake Paul, I'm choosing Ben Askren all day.
That's mad.
Also, this is also, I'm gonna listen. I need to say this before people start carried away. I don't think Ben Askren's gonna win.
No, I don't.
I think he probably will get knocked out. He is not a great striker. He is really not a great striker. And this is, he's not great at kickboxing, let alone pure boxing with fucking 10, 12 ounce gloves on. I don't know what they're using, but
it's going to be a mockery, an absolute mockery to the sport, and it's going to be splashed everywhere. I know that there's going to be some just people I know that hate on MMA anyway. Boxing's this and boxing's that. I know they're going to be on my phones talking some smack anyway. So it's going to be another beret. It's going to be another fucking week or so of bullshit. But I'm already calling it now. I don't give a fuck. I'm happy it's Ben Askren, and Ben Askren had to do it because what the fuck else has he got going on? And if you're gonna jump in and say I'm gonna beat up I'm good enough to beat up a UFC fighter, and you pick Ben Askren, you're a fucking dickhead, bro. And it says so much about that Jake Paul fucking idiot. Anyway, I'm gonna pick fucking Ben Askren. Yeah, right.
I think he's banking on the fact that the majority of people aren't gonna go into that much depth and look at his fights and actually watch his fighting style. Look at his background, and they're gonna just say this guy was an MMA champion and he got knocked out by a YouTuber. MMA can't be
fucking
worth nothing.
That's disgusting. That makes me fucking
what it's gonna be. That is essentially for the majority. Anyone who actually watches MMA, of course they're not gonna believe that. Anyone who's even heard of Ben Askren prior to this fight being announced and hasn't just done a quick Google search when they see, oh, Jake fighting an MMA fighter called Ben Askren, yeah? Cool, let me check. Anyone who's heard of him prior to this, they know what it is. We all know we all know what it is. But Jake Paul is banking on the fact that not enough people are gonna know.
They're not even gonna bother. They're not gonna bother looking. It's just gonna be a headline. It's gonna be him on his back looking at the sky with his little throw, and he's gonna be like, oh yeah, he banged up a UFC fighter. What next? If Jake Paul can bang up a UFC champion, who else can he bang up? But I can't wait though. I can't wait for him to fight somebody worthwhile and get the fucking snot punched out of him and then be done with it.
That'll be great. But one thing I will say, right? Ben Askren does have a fucking good chin.
I mean, yeah, we're good. Yeah, cool. Cool. You know what I mean? Fuck it up. But I mean,
I'm not, again, this ain't even me trying to say that he's going to win. But
yeah. So he might not even be decisive.
Huh?
Sorry, go on.
I feel like if he can take it to a decision and lose to Jake Paul via decision, regardless of the loss, I feel like it would take the sting out of it a little bit for MMA fighters.
That's a win for MMA.
Take a little bit of the hype out of it for Jake Paul.
That's a win.
These YouTube fans don't enjoy boxing; they enjoy knockouts. Viral. That's what they enjoy. These YouTube fans, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if Jake Paul doesn't provide that, then in some senses that's sort of
fucking hell, that's deep. That's so layered.
Isn't it?
That's so true. Never even thought about it like that, and I appreciate that. That's sick. That's basically saying we're gonna go all in on Ben Askren being able to not get knocked out. That's all we want. All we want him to do is to not get knocked out, and that chin, let his chin do everything he can for every MMA fan around the world. It's all rests on his chin.